Hello everyone, welcome to our science show Curiosity presented by Young Academy of India, and I'm Felix Bast. I'm recording this episode from Payyanur, my hometown in Kerala. You can see the background. And today is 1st January, the brand new year of 2025 just begun, right? My best wishes throughout the year of 2025 for every one of you. And yes, so Happy New Year, friends. This is the year of, guess what? So UN has declared each year also with some observances, just like a day, every episode of Curiosity, we do cover science-related observances, right? And also weeks. And 2025 is the year of quantum science. Quantum science means quantum physics, quantum computing, and whatnot, all kinds of quantum. And also, 2025 is the year of glacier preservation. It's very important to preserve our existing glaciers. So all the glaciers are under imminent threat of global warming. You might have heard of something called glacier retreat, because of the melting of the polar as well as the mountainous glaciers like in Himalaya. And the glaciers are retreated, so we really need to prevent it by controlling our emissions. So that is why this is a very important observance. And also 2025 is the year of cooperative, like cooperative society is really important, so we need these are not really for the profit. It's a society, like-minded people comes together and work towards the development. Like Linux is an example of the cooperative, right? So we really need cooperatives too. And also peace and trust. 2025 is the year of peace and trust. So many observances for 2025. So let's come together and celebrate the passion of this year 2025. Okay, so let this be the year of curiosity for all of you. Okay, so as you know, this is a monthly roundup of the latest science-related stories. So January was named after what? The etymology of the month name, right? January is named after Janus. Janus is the Roman god of beginning. So it's a new beginning, right? 2025, right? The first month of the year, January. That's why it's named after Janus. And also the flower, according to florography, this is the month of Coronation. The beautiful pink flowers of Coronation, isn't it? Dianthus. So this month is after the Coronation. While recording this today, today I came to know about a sad demise of a very famous botanical taxonomist here in Kerala as well as in India, very well known. The only taxonomist, I would say, who won prestigious Padma Shri Award of Government of India. It is Professor K.S. Manilal. He was emeritus professor of botany at Calicut University. His momentous contribution to the field of taxonomy is, of course, he did a lot of contributions too, including discovery of several new species. I think around 14 new plant species have been named and discovered by him. But he is more famous, much better known as a person who did or he devoted his entire career translating a very important work called Hortus Malabaricus. Have you heard of this work? It's a Latin work. It's published almost 3 centuries back, 330, I guess, by Henri van Reed. Van Reed is a plant taxonomist from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. He wrote this book in Latin, describing the plant diversity of this area, the Malabar area, or the Kerala in general. But it was in Latin, so it was absolutely inaccessible to those who speak English. So he spent almost 14 years or 15 years of his career translating word by word, of this remarkable work. That's pretty, a magnificent contribution to the field of taxonomy, plant taxonomy. So powers to his family and friends, to cope up with this great loss, right? I think he was 83 years old, and this happened today morning, right? Just sharing this news here. Okay, as usual, we'll round up the latest science and curiosity-driven research related papers. So human thought As you might think that it is super fast, isn't it? How we are actually, when we recite the memory, it is so fast, right? How fast is the thought? You might be wondering. You might be surprised to know that our thought is really, really slow. And there is a new paper here in the Neuron, very prestigious journal, Neuron. It's far slower than a computer or your internet connection at home. So 10 bits per second is the speed of our memory. 10 bits per bit. Yeah, it is called, memory is measured in the bits per second, is it just 10? While average home connection here in India is approximately 250 million. So 25 million times, yeah, much faster. The internet connection is so much faster. So it's really slow. I really like the title of this paper. They titled as The Unbearable Slowness of Being. Unbearable Slowness of Being. That is a very curiously driven title of this paper which I read. Another interesting paper, it's this paper I read. Well, in this episode I'm going to cover so many stories that our moderators of a Young Academy of India shared in our Facebook group. This particular the story was shared by Sarah, a lecturer in botany, and also many of the our active volunteers did share. So this particular story is about the brain again. Microbiome in the brain. Can you believe it's not a gut microbiome, but also even the brain has a microbiome. So it need not be the microbes living inside our brain, but the microbes do communicate actively, and also it plays crucial role with many of the neurological issues like dementia and Alzheimer's. So if you dissect the brain of people who died of this dementia related illness, you will see a different kind of microbial pattern. So that is a very interesting new paper published in Journal of Infectious Diseases. You can check out the show notes for all these papers. Okay. Next one is that the women exhibit less manipulative personality trait in more gender neutral society. So it's something like karma, isn't it? So if you treat women with respect, in more gender neutral society, then the women don't feel that there is any need to be manipulative, like the dark triad personality, right? To manipulate, to exhibit psychopathy and all, right? You don't have to, right? Machiavellianism is it's a crucial personality trait involved with manipulative trait. So yeah, so the in case the women who are living in more gender stereotype society, then they feel the urge to be manipulative. Pretty interesting. Please check out this particular paper. Next is about emissions. The richest 1% of the world's population produces 50 times more CO2 levels than the poor. That's really yeah, it's nothing to do with bad or good. Yeah, it is a revealing study, I would say, isn't it? So 4 billion people are the one which are so basically more than the 4 billion poor people. The 50% bottom 50% is 4 billion. So that's really amazing. Just top 1% of the people are high polluters. So that's really important. Now next is that long suspected each tea bag. Well, I do cover about the tea bags in most of my science outreach talks. So you might think that drinking tea with the tea bag is quite okay, isn't it? So not really. The tea bag is basically plastic. The moment you pour very hot water, it releases the microplastics in it. And this new paper were looking exactly how many microplastics are being released. So millions of nanoplastics that can actually get into our intestines and even to the blood and spread everywhere on the body. That is a pretty interesting story. Oh, by the way, this is only about the plastic, the tea bag. So, well, you cannot generalize all tea bags as plastic. Many new and expensive kind of tea bags are coming with cellulose. So, cellulose is a plant product, right? So, cellulosic tea bags do not do this problem. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting story. Well, feminine advantage in harm perception obscures male victimization. That is a pretty interesting, another psychology related paper which I read about it. So, harm perception. So, if you're inflicting same harm to both female and male, so the way we perceive the harm is much more stronger for female than male. So, it has got this victimization has got serious ramifications in depression and suicide, because yeah, even pain, if you if you relay that you are under like sorrow, for example, or the tears coming, the male who is actually crying, for example, are highly stigmatized in society, and that is why, well, suicide is much more higher, rates are much more higher for male, and the depressions are highly underreported for male. Another very interesting story. Weight loss drugs like semaglutide, also known as Ozempic, may have another very significant side effect of shrinking the heart muscle. Pericardium has the muscles, isn't it? So it shrinks the heart muscle, so that is not good news. So we still have to know more about how this weight loss drugs like Ozempic works, before making it safe for the well, Ozempic is already, it is not under the clinical trial, it's already in the market. Many countries have already, people can buy, of course, a prescription injection. But yeah, this is a very interesting a paper, and we have to do a lot more research on the Ozempic. Yeah, it's also an anti-diabetic injection. Vegetarians and vegans consume slightly more processed food than meat eaters. That is pretty interesting, isn't it? So yeah, another the news story is it's a significant revelation, I would say. Well, vegetarians, it's again slightly more processed food. So yeah, so if you're a vegetarian, be aware, closely inspect the kind of food that you eat. Maybe you're more prone to eat you know uh, processed, highly processed food, right? So you have to include more fruits and vegetables and unprocessed food, isn't it? So that is really important. Another story again about the gender stereotyping. Men who adhere to the traditional gender roles or masculine ideologies face more than double the risk of suicide. So those men who who are into, who are kind of supporting this traditional gender stereotypes are, I would say, they are conservative, and conservatives are more prone for suicide. That's very interesting paper. Please check out that paper. Okay, yeah. And another story is about the the drinking coffee aficionados like me. This story is also shared by our moderators. 400 mg dose of caffeine, that is 4 cups of coffee, disrupts our sleep when taken up to 12 hours, just 12 hours before the bedtime. So just 4 cups of coffee, if you have 12 hours before the sleep time, can have impact on the quality of sleep that we have. Well, it has something to do with the half-life, isn't it? So caffeine have a typical half-life of 4 to 5 hours. That means, whatever is the caffeine in your blood will become half after around 4 hours. So factor this in. Usually I take only 2 cups of coffee, 10:30, and another coffee will be at around 3 o'clock, 3:30. So yeah, well, 10:30 is also a very sweet spot for taking tea, the coffee. I'm talking about the coffee. I'm more into a coffee drinking, right? Not really tea, but I really enjoy tea too. So that 10:30 is a sweet spot for a coffee drinking time as per science too. I think we have already covered that in one of our previous episodes of the Curiosity. You can check that out in our archives. Okay, high heart preferentially killing high heat, global warming. It's again the global warming paper. So, well, we think that, well, as the globe is getting warmer, old people are really under risk of heat stroke and heat related death, isn't it? Not really. This new paper is coming from Mexico, and they were looking at this, which age group are more prone for heat related death, and their finding is pretty interesting, and it is highly surprising for most of us. 75% of the heat related death were occurring in the people under 35, 75%. So yeah, that's very important. Well, that makes sense for activists, environmental activists like Greta Thunberg, the Swedish girl, right? Yeah, so young people have to be more vigilant about the climate change, isn't it? Because they are disproportionately being affected by the global warming. That is very interesting. Another paper shared in our group, Syrian war even had effects on the DNA methylation patterns of the refugee youth. So DNA methylation, basically the methyl group linking on to the DNA, residues of the DNA, can have impacts on its transcription, and the DNA don't get actually coded for the protein. So protein's expression will be hampered with preferential DNA methylation. So all these are comes under something called epigenetics. So yeah, the expression level of these genes can be controlled by DNA methylation. The methyl group adding on to certain sites of the DNA, especially the transcription factor binding sites. So they were looking at these youth who were refugees coming from the Syrian war. Well, fortunately, that war is now over. It's a good news for Syria. That is also a new development, right, in the last month. So yeah, the methylation patterns can be changed. That is a very interesting. Well, we have to do this kind of studies more and more. It's not just war, but also racial discrimination can also potentially play a role in the DNA methylation. Those who are into epigenetics can consider doing this kind of studies. It's pretty interesting and curiosity driven. All these studies are. Okay, next is the AI scans, reveal the AI, the artificial intelligence was scanning the RNA. We have got so many meta RNA databases. So it is part of the, metagenetics, so metagenetics like the environmental DNA barcoding. So you can take out the environmental DNA or RNA and then sequence it and put that into the database. So AI software was scanning this RNA, and what they found is that they discovered more than 70,000 brand new viruses. Can you believe? The exact number is 70,500 new virus, new to the science were discovered by this AI scan. So very interesting. That's something like AlphaFold. That is also AI based, right? They are scanning for the secondary and tertiary structure predictions of the amino acid sequences. So it's pretty similar, but yeah, very interesting story. People who walk more each day are less likely to have depression. That is a new story, and they were looking at the sweet spot for this is approximately 5,000 to 7,000 steps a day. So that is that is as today is January 1st. So one of my resolutions is not about the walking. I do walk. I really enjoy walking. Another resolution is about hiking. It's my newfound passion. So I'm now planning for this 2025. Every month I'm going to hike a peak. It's not a giant peak like Everest, of course. I'm not planning, but yeah, small day hikes I really enjoy. Looking at these wildflowers and enjoying this hiking, so that is what I'm going to do. So it's a very important story that the walking with the depression risk, it is reduced. It's inversely related. Another story from the exercising, just 30 minutes a day improves your memory and cognitive performance for the day ahead and the day after. That means the 2 days of your memory is improved if you exercise just 30 minutes a day. Very interesting, right? These kind of stories always makes me plan or to have these kind of resolutions. The New Year resolution, the 1st of January is the best day for these kind of stories, isn't it? The New Year resolution. So let all of your New Year resolution be at 30 minutes of exercise every single day, including walking. Yeah, walking is also powerful, for preventing the depression. Yeah, okay. Next story is around 1 in 5 people under 50 have genital herpes. Estimates the international study. So that is very interesting. 1 in 5 people have genital herpes. So genital herpes basically is incurable. Can you believe it? There is no effective treatment available for herpes. Well, HSV1 and HSV2. One is genital, another is oral. So like child usually have it by exposing with this oral fluid, the saliva and all, right? So yeah, these two can also get, like, from oral transmission, you can get genital herpes and vice versa. So that's very interesting story. I never knew that this can be spread. That you will get genital herpes via oral route. That is also a very interesting news story. Okay, new study shows that consuming sweet drinks is worse for your health than any other forms of the sugar. So sweet drinks versus sweet food. For instance, jalebi or laddu. Of course, jalebi and laddu is sweet, and it's not like you're justifying that this sweet food is good. Well, it has got ramifications, but if you just compare, this study only compared the sweet food with sweet drinks, like soda, and what they found is that the sweet drinks have significantly more impact than sweet food. So that is also pretty interesting story. Especially if you're pre-diabetic, or you ever been detected with the diabetes. So yeah, this story is really important. So avoid all sweet drinks like cola. That is really important. Okay. Next story, a new study has shown that employees are experiencing mental and physical techno strain due to being hyper connected to digital technology, making it difficult for them to switch off from the work. Like the employee WhatsApp group, for example, and unless you are always in, even your weekends and off time, the employees demand that you have to be available all the time. So that causes a lot of the stress. So everything, these kind of news stories asking us to adopt more better digital practices in our life. So switch off when it's over the time, or don't check your mobile phone during the weekends. All these are really good practices that we really have to do it. Next story, alarming increase in people under 50 being diagnosed with bowel cancer. So that is really interesting. A lot of bowel cancer is being now reported under 50. So it could be because more testing. Well, that is a confounding variable. But again, still, it's very important. It's a question mark on the kind of eating habit that we have. So that this study is highlighting the importance that we have to include more fruits, and fibers in our diet. So yeah, the fiber studies after studies have shown that the fiber content in your diet can help to prevent the bowel cancer, right? So that is really important. Do subscribe to our Facebook, the group Young Academy of India. You can just search out, anyone can become a member of it. And do share these kind of curiosity inspiring stories, and check out more such stories in our group. Okay. And also we have this very popular Google group, so please check out our Google groups and be a member of it. Well, as usual, the next part of the curiosity is about the observances. Well, first, today is the New Year's Day. Third is Moon-Mars conjunction, and also meteor shower called quadrantid. Right, annual meteor shower is on the 3rd of January. Fourth is Earth at perihelion. So perihelion is opposite of aphelion, aphelion, right? So perihelion means that we are really close to Sun, right? Because of the elliptical orbital, isn't it? So yeah, the point at which the Earth is really close to the Sun. Paradoxically, we are in the northern hemisphere. We feel really cold. Here in Kerala, it's not cold at all. It's pretty warm. You can see I'm sweating here, 30 degrees, but more than that, it's really humid. We are going back to Punjab day after tomorrow. So in Punjab, for example, in my place, Bathinda is the coldest in Punjab, 5 degrees yesterday's temperature, right? So it's really interesting why it's very cold, despite the fact that we are very close to the sun, because it's not about proximity to the sun, it's very slight, and that doesn't have much of the influence. But the seasons are more to do with our axial tilt, 23.5 degrees. So yeah, right now the northern hemisphere is facing away from the sun. That is why here it is winter, while southern hemisphere it is facing towards the sun. So it's summer there in Antarctic, or in Australia or New Zealand, right? Yeah. Okay, 10th is the best day of the year to watch the Venus. These days, the Venus is so beautiful in the night sky. Please check out. 11th is the Moon-Jupiter conjunction. 12th is Mars at perigee. So yeah, Mars, the best day to watch the Mars is on 12th. And 13th is Atlas Comet. You can watch Atlas Comet. It's again annually, it appears on the same day, again in year after year, right? So yeah, 13th, if you are somewhere like here, for example, in Pioneer, the night sky is so clear, so crisp because of the less air pollution, or high altitude. So, I just had a small trip to Coorg. Coorg is also a little bit of altitude area, around 1050 meters. So yeah, if you're blessed to have a very nice night sky, please check out the Atlas Comet, right? On 13th. 14th is the first full moon of the year, the Wolf Moon. And also the same day, you can also see Moon-Mars conjunction. So the Mars will appear, disappear, and again appear. So yeah, that is pretty interesting celestial event going to happen on 14th. Don't miss out. 16th is Mars at opposition, so the best day of the year to watch the Mars. Okay, so yeah, check out that. 19th is Urse Minorid meteor shower. Yeah, January you can see a lot of meteor shower, just like our December, right? So the second meteor shower of the month is on 19th, Urse Minorid. 20th is Venus-Saturn conjunction. One photo, you can get Venus and Saturn together. And 23rd is the best day of the year to observe Venus again. Right? 24th is World Education Day, UN observance. 26th is Clean Energy Day. World Clean Energy Day is on 26th. So you can plan some events in your institute or in your college or university or school for these days. Okay. 30th is an excellent day to see a cluster called Beehive. The Beehive super cluster, you can see it. And also another related cluster is called IC2395 cluster. You can watch this on 31st of January. So many observances in this month, and don't miss this, okay? Now, finally, the last part of our curiosity is the opportunities for the young researchers and students, right? So the first one is the call for applications for 2025 AAAS TWAS summer course on science diplomacy is open now. I'm an alumni of this program, so it's an annual call, and every year they have this science diplomacy program being held in Trieste in Italy. Of course, if you're getting selected, they will pay you up and down. You can fly there, you can see Trieste in addition to attending this excellent program. Okay, please to apply for this. This is the deadline is on 23rd January, right? DBT Research Associateship call is open for RA position, that is basically a postdoc after your PhD. 3rd January, that is now coming up, right? Just 2 more days to go, right? 3rd January is the deadline. Branko Weiss Fellowship is open now. The fellowship is a postdoc call. The Branko Weiss Society in Science call. 15 January is the deadline. Okay, for recent PhDs, you can apply for this prestigious Swiss postdoc call. A call for early career fellows for the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, that is IPBES call is open. Well, this call I got it from ISC, where I'm a member of International Science Council. So deadline is 10th January. EMBO courses and workshop 1st March. So you have an entire 2 months developing this proposal to host in your institute, to host this kind of EMBO workshop or EMBO course, for example, science leadership. So yeah, that's very interesting call to host this kind of EMBO courses in your institute. 2 more months to go for this call. Okay. Saroj Chandrasekhar Award for Women Scientists working in life sciences is open now. 1st February is the deadline. And call for projects including cross-cutting and working group proposals by the International Arctic Science Committee. Deadline is 6th of January. Call for nominations for the UK Royal Society's annual medals and awards program. Deadline is 21st of February. 21st of February. And as usual, there are several JRF and, project position calls are open, and you can see those calls as and when these calls appear in our Facebook group. So do check out our group. I will also be attending our International Science Council's annual it is a general body meeting, the third general body meeting in Muscat, Oman, in this month. And those of you from Oman or somewhere in the Middle East, please do let me know. We'll catch up in Muscat. This is being held from 25th of January till 1st February. The last week of Jan I will be there. And also, in case you're curious to see my house and surrounding this place in Payyanur, near my home, I have shot a video on. It's available in my channel. I link up, just after this particular video. You can see that video of my home. Okay, you can just check out in case you're curious to see, how the people in rural Kerala live. So this is this the place where I live here. It's called Korom village. It's really interior, deep interior. It's rustic. It is not really the city, but in Kerala, cities and countryside are quite similar. Anyway, that's it for this month's episode of the Curiosity. I wish you the very best throughout the year. Let 2025 be the year of curiosity driven research for all of you. I will see you soon with yet another episode of the Curiosity for the month of February. Till then, goodbye. Take care of yourself, and if you can, somebody else too. Goodbye.